Okay. Hello, listener. The BAFTAs have just been and passed with a number of awards being handed out. So we're doing a special Stu review of a double helping of Hopkins on the film reviews. So he sat right next to me for a bit of reaction to the BAFTAs 2015.
Double helping? How am I going to double?
We did one a couple of days ago, and
oh, I see what you mean.
so
yes.
it's
On
a
the
double
BAFTAs,
double
yes.
for this week. It's a double for this week.
Right.
So yeah, in general, Toby, what did you make of the awards?
I enjoyed them thoroughly, particularly because firstly, I'd like to thank Stuart personally for picking me amongst the 5 nominated reviewers. I can see the other 4 in front of me. They're smiling. They've got smiles wrapped all over their faces, but I know that they're inside they're seething.
Of course, as
Quietly
every
seething.
other BAFTA loser does.
But it was very good, particularly because all of my predictions came true.
Good. We'll find out shortly
Yeah.
if that's the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, would you say it's been a vintage year, or
Definitely for the British films, the array of films on the conveyor belt, and I think the right ones won.
okay, cool. So before we actually start looking at the awards, do you want to do the whole kind of women's magazine type thing by
Yeah,
looking at the
absolutely.
best?
Let's go. Okay.
We're going to go okay.
Magazine
okay.
Frenzy. Yeah.
Frenzy.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, before we look at the awards, then, who was the best dressed on the night, Toby?
I'd have to say Christian Scott Thomas. I believe she's now a dame. Christian.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe so. And
So what particular number was she wearing that caught the eye?
Well, there's something just very sexy about her. It was kind of glittery.
Glittery?
What
What colour?
It was sort of glittery and silvery, I think. She's very sexy. I've fancied her since 4 Weddings and a Funeral. You know, when she uttered those immortal words, "It's you, Charlie. It's always been you." To Hugh, what's
Hugh
his
Grant.
name? Hugh Grant.
Hugh
And
Grant.
it went, "Oh, Fee. Oh, how terrible for you." And yes, and she was good. She actually gave Stephen Fry a little bit of a put down, which is quite hard to do actually to Stephen Fry. And she did that very sexily as well.
In her best dressed.
Yeah,
outfit.
exactly, with a little bit of a sway in her hips. Yeah, it was nice.
So should we do the worst dressed as well?
Yeah.
Because I mean, no sort of women's magazine would be correct without kind of putting down, slagging off some woman as well.
Yeah, Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah, absolutely. It was.
So you're going to be catty about this?
Yeah, yeah. It looked like a load of red felt had been patched together at a primary school.
Cool. We better hopefully.
And it looked like she should, frankly, go round to Patricia Arquette's house and have a decent meal. You know,
Okay.
She needs feeding up, that woman,
Okay.
to fill out that rubbish felt dress of hers.
Okay, I won't comment any further. But for a sense of equilibrium, I mean, given the fact that the men, they're all wearing suits, so there's not really too much to pick from.
No.
But we can't just talk about the women. So who
Indeed.
was wearing the best suit?
Well, as you say, they did all look very similar. Occasionally, one would have a bow tie, but it has to be said, David Beckham, who came
pull
on
off
to
a good suit.
present, obviously he wasn't. Yes, coming on to present an award, and as ever, he cuts a fine figure of a man, and great legs, frankly.
Even through those trousers.
Yeah, you have to say. Can we go back to the
worst dressed.
No.
More negative things to espouse.
Can we? No, legs. Talking of legs, can we go back to the best women's legs?
If
I'm a bit more
it doesn't
interested in-
sound too terrible.
No, of course not. No. The best legs absolutely was Reese Witherspoon. I mean that walking holiday she had obviously has paid dividends. So and yeah, she looked great. It was green, I think, and.
The dress or the legs?
The shape. I'm talking shapes here.
Green in shape.
Green shapes.
Okay. and again, can you pick a worst suit of the evening? No one sort of wearing any sort of open chested numbers.
No.
White
you
linen
put that
suits.
on me, and I could no. They were all pretty much the same, actually.
Do you yearn for a day when maybe guys get a bit more freedom, like the women do, to go a bit different from the suit?
Yes, that question has aroused that possibility in my mind.
What
I
sort
think.
of cardigans?
Yeah, somebody dressed really badly. That'd be quite interesting.
Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah, tank top.
it's a tank top. Yeah, not a string
Yeah,
vest.
I long for the day when somebody receives an award wearing a tank top at the BAFTAs. Then we know that Britain has arrived.
So okay, so
and
wait,
it's gonna
you know,
stay
none
there.
of this kind of black tie Oscar
Yeah,
nonsense.
it's so boring. Cliche. It's terrible.
So should we move on to some of the actual awards?
Indeed.
So obviously the biggest award of the night was for best film, which went to Boyhood. So what did you think of that? Was it the right winner?
Well, as you remember, you sort of pinned me into a corner with that one, and I went for possibly the two English big guns, Imitation Game and Theory of Everything, and I came out actually a loser on that one, and it was Boyhood. A bit predictable. I've yet to see the thrill in this film, and maybe in a decade's time I will.
Okay, outstanding. Well, going back to the English selection, obviously outstanding British film was probably going to be a run-up between Theory of Everything and Imitation Game.
Yeah.
The Theory of Everything took it. Was it deserved?
Well, I slightly cocked my choice up on this one, and I went for 71. Yes, it's deserved. The film got several awards, including for our dear old friend Reddy Edmayne. Oh, by the way, Stephen Fry nicked our joke about
really?
Of changing Eddie Redmayne's name.
What, to Reddy Edmayne?
But significantly, he got not even one snicker from the audience.
It's because they've all heard the joke before on our podcast.
I was going to say that'll teach him to nick any of our little quips.
So he just doesn't have the delivery.
He
doesn't have the delivery. We'd already put that joke out there already.
Yeah, he was
just recycling old material.
Yes.
I
like that take on it. I like that.
I'm glad you spotted that.
It was funny. There was absolute silence when he said it. Nobody even registered it.
Maybe everyone else was just thinking, Reddy Edmayne.
Oh, we've heard Steve's reviews. We've heard that before,
indeed. So, talking of Stephen Fry, obviously he was, the main man of the evening. Within it,
indeed,
they had a numerous other number of presenters, including Mr. Beckham, who we've already touched upon. Was there a particular highlight of presenter for you?
Yeah, well, Stephen Hawking was there, which was kind of lovely, lovely and wonderful. He got a standing ovation, and absolutely why not? And he made a very good joke on his computer pad kind of thing. Obviously, he'd had to
preloaded.
Preloaded. He'd done a preload, but it worked really well. It was one of the best jokes of the evening, if not the best joke.
Yep, and I mean it makes a nice change. I mean, usually I'm always surprised, especially with awards ceremonies. You get the two presenters, they come up, and considering they're usually actors and actresses, they always look unbelievably wooden reading an auto cue.
Yeah.
And at least the one good thing with Stephen Hawking is he didn't look wooden. He nailed that performance. He nailed that joke. Yeah. Whereas everyone else comes in, stares like a deer in the headlights, straight ahead.
In a sublime way, he was probably the coolest presenter,
the most naturalistic in front of camera in that capacity.
Twitched his little muscle in the cheek, and it read out what he'd said, what he wanted to say, and it was
perfect. So shall we have just a quick run through some of the not so important awards? So supporting actor J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nailed on from start to finish.
Put your mortgage on it, you'll get about 20 pence back if you went to the bookies. So yeah, absolutely, and so he should have done. So
cool. Would you say the same for supporting actress, which was Patricia Arquette?
Yeah, and that was one of the delights about Boyhood being awarded best film, because she was awarded supporting actress. You got to see Patricia Arquette coming on stage. She's quite a package.
Okay. But not quite enough to win best dressed.
It was good enough for me.
So would you say, if we go over to the cinematography award,
yes.
Birdman, is that as nailed on as J.K. Simmons and Patricia Arquette was for cinematography?
Yeah, I think so. But I it's kind of interesting because I believe that my previous choice, that as well as it being a good film, that it might possibly get the best Oscar. I think the style, the cinematography, actually, as good as it gets in the way of the story somehow. It's there, it's good, but it's just too there. I can't quite explain, but it's a bit too much.
So did you have a preference for that award particularly, or is it more that you don't think Birdman is that great, but it's still better than what else is on that list?
I just think you're aware of the cinematography when you're watching that film more than the film itself. I for instance, I think the cinematography in certainly the second or the last third of Interstellar is brilliant, and it doesn't get in the way of the film. I mean, it enhances it, but you're always aware of the style. So it's a bit of a conundrum, actually, style over content.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there anyway. I mean, it seems kind of down the list of like the sort of secondary awards after sort of best film, actor and actress. We've got director again, and that pretty much seems like another shoe-in with Richard Linklater. I mean, I don't think anyone was assuming it'd be anything but come this award.
Again, it's another mortgage, get 20p back, yeah.
Okay. So basically we can establish sort of, well, actually, looking over the list we've got, were there any awards that you were surprised about, really, when it came through? Any upsets you thought, or was it pretty much all went the way of the favourites for this one?
No, it was very predictable, actually. Well, no, I say predictable. I didn't predict them very well.
but you were going for slightly more interesting
yeah,
options,
I know. I
so.
was going a bit outfield and a bit wild on some ideas of mine,
Okay.
but that's the betting man inside me.
Indeed.
That has not come out and gone to the betting shop, fortunately, because then I'd be
You'd be
absolutely
£2 short.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what you'd not be able to afford for that £2. I don't know, half a pint.
Such things can escalate, Stu.
Indeed, they can. As we have established.
You try and get back what you've lost. It's a very
that £2 bet becomes a £4 bet for the Oscars.
Yeah, and you try and get back and then put more on,
Yeah, and it just falls. But so anyway, should we keep on that note of accumulator bets and so forth? Would you care to make any amendments? Well, we did an Oscar broadcast. Was it a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, where you predicted the six top awards for the Oscars. Are you going to stick, or having seen these BAFTA awards now, are you desiring to make a few amendments to your list?
Yeah, I am.
Is this now like the sensible man who wants to recoup his imaginary £2 rather than the man who wants to win big?
Yeah, exactly. He stopped jittering on his sofa and he's realised the sense of going for the favourites, and I think it's as predictable as that. It did bring to my previous thoughts. Some of them were a little bit wild, and it did bring to mind a Leonard Cohen lyric about again with a betting metaphor of looking for a hand so high and wild that basically you wouldn't have to bet again, which is the ultimate gambler's dream. And so I think, to go back to the list,
is Boyhood getting in?
Yeah, Boyhood's gonna. I still don't see it, but it's gonna do it. Really, it's gonna do it. Boyhood.
So any room for Birdman and Michael Keaton along the list?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to go for Boyhood, Linklater.
Yep. Patricia Arquette as well. So I mean,
absolutely.
Boyhood's going to be getting.
I'm going to look forward to what dress she's going to be wearing on the Oscars.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do another review. Maybe we can do a comparison on your best dressed from this time. See what they're wearing next time.
I'd love to.
And definitely, Women's Magazine it up with your comments.
Yeah, we'll post that off to Hello and
OK and the ones that are less popular and even more catty.
Yeah. To Daily Mail. Yeah.
To the Daily Mail, yeah. They're all ugly and they're all foreigners coming in here as Americans.
And they need to eat.
Okay, so yeah, any other business at all, Toby? Anything you
Well,
want to add?
can I just quickly go through the 6 list?
Yeah.
Boyhood, Linklater, Julianne Moore. I think the end of that film seals it. I personally believe Reese Witherspoon's better. I'd love the scene where she's trying to put on a rucksack. She won't win because Julianne Moore's got a problem and Oscar stuff. Patricia Arquette, J.K. Simmons, and the only question I have is on the best actor, and is it going to be our own?
Is Reddy going to be? Is that going to be a Golden Globe?
Is
a
Eddie going to be
BAFTA,
Reddy,
and an Oscar?
Or is it going to be the surprise coup?
The surprise coup.
Indeed.
What are you going to go for?
I'm going to stick with the surprise coup. It's as mad as that sounds. Yeah, I'm going to keep with the coup.
Okay. So Eddie Redmayne is to be disappointed. Probably not disappointed as Benedict Cumberbatch. He
No.
probably came into awards season thinking, I've got a chance of being the best British actor this year, and Redmayne's just blasted him off the field.
He has.
Will his career recover? In fact, will Eddie Redmayne's career, is this his high point already? Having seen Jupiter Rising.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
He could have hit his
See
peak.
other reviews.
I mean, he's not going to get too many more films where he gets to play Stephen Hawking.
No, that's a very good point.
I mean, you can't really sequel it very easily.
No. I mean, I think you're right. I think I think it'll win because it's a thoroughly endearing performance of an internationally respected figure, and only a madman would bet against that swaying the Oscar voters. And Bradley Cooper's performance is too controversial, really. But
You'd like to see him.
I'd like personally. Yeah, it's between like and will, and I would like to see Bradley Cooper win it. I don't know what will happen to his career after that, but and who knows what will happen to Eddie Redmayne's.
I reckon Eddie Redmayne down, Bradley Cooper in another Hangover. Was he in The Hangover?
No, I think he'll go on to better things.
Not The Hangover 25.
I really do.
No,
honestly,
kind
that's
of like Police Academy 7.
No. That's why I like this, because it shows what a good actor he is.
Okay.
And I'd like to see him do just really good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we just finish off here saying generally a good but predictable BAFTAs this year? When we've got the Oscars, are they coming up in a week or two's time?
By the way, I was right about Jack O'Connell. He got the best newcomer.
Good work.
Who was in 71, which I predicted.
Good work.
But in the wrong category.
Okay, so we've got good BAFTAs. We'll hopefully
he's going to do good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, watch this space. So yeah, hopefully we'll get another recording or two in the meantime, and then we'll probably do another Oscar one and an Oscar reaction when it happens. Here's presuming it's going to be as predictable as the BAFTAs, but here's hoping it might not be.
In what way do you think it might not be?
Well, the favourites don't win. If you get your Bradley Cooper wish, then we might have something more than they were going to win and they did win, kind of thing. But then if anything's going to be predictable, it's probably going to be the Oscars.
Yeah, and a lot of faff in between.
A lot of faff. So basically, we've got to spend a lot more time commenting on suits and dresses.
Talk
about dresses. I mean, no one knows what dresses are going to turn up.
Yeah.
So let's leave it with that, and goodbye, everyone.
All right, cheers, Stu.